I say.
What you say
is what I say.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Review. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak
What's up?
and Steve.
Be excellent to each other.
Wrong movie.
Oh, it's such a great intro, though.
Yes, but we are reviewing the movie Newsies today. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie?
That's my cigar. You'll steal another. Hey, bummers, we got work to do.
Steve's gonna sing the whole movie. We're good. Go ahead.
You
got 20 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the full rendition of a musical based on the New York City newsboy strike of 1899, when young newspaper sellers are exploited beyond reason by their bosses. They sell out to enact change and are met by the ruthlessness of big business. That's a little bit of an understatement, because the whole point of the strike and everything that happens in the movie is because Pulitzer wants to raise the price of what they pay for 100 papers by 10 cents.
Yep.
But this is a musical. I believe it's like the first major motion picture of Christian Bale. It is a star-studded film that came out in 1992 with a running time of 2 hours and 1 minute.
Never get back.
All right.
You are such a jerk. It's a good movie.
Your opinions.
That's the movie. That's Newsies.
That's well. What's your first impression of the movie, there, Steve?
Oh, I love it. It came out in 1992. I'm thinking the summer, so I was probably 9 years old when this movie came out. So I just loved it right off the bat. Great catchy musical numbers. For the longest time, I thought that when the nuns are singing, the mom that comes out to sing, I thought it was the redheaded nun from Sister Act. 20 years later, found out was not the actress that played the redheaded nun in Sister Act. Also found out recently that the nun's singing voice in Sister Act, not actually her singing voice, someone else's singing voice. I am completely ruined for my childhood. But this is a musical. I saw it when it came out. I loved it from the get. Christian Bale at one point declared that he absolutely loathed and detested this movie, but as far as I know, has come around, realizing how much people do truly appreciate and love the movie for what it is. I'm one of those people. I could sing just about every number for a good portion of time. My friends and I would quote this movie, and as the opening stinger, I say what you say is what I say. Is something that my brother and I said basically up until the day he passed. So I love this movie. It's a movie that's near and dear to my heart. It holds a special place. So you guys can talk all the shit you want, but I still love it.
Mikey the Freak, how about you? Your first impression.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a terrible movie. I mean, it's not in my top 10 ranking for movie musicals per se.
That's a separate conversation we have to have now.
That is a very separate conversation. But yeah, interesting. I think that the premise behind it and the story behind it with the strike of 1899 meant a lot. It really got to notice Pulitzer and the other paper owner that started it. My mind just went blank. I'm sorry.
Hearst.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Pulitzer and Hearst.
They really it opened their eyes to realize that they use these kids like child labor, and they pay them, but it's because they're a kid. You got to make sure that you got to be at least 16 plus years old or whatever. So, but I think it meant a lot to them to understand that they don't want to be undercutted, and they wanted to make the money. But then they got
bomb you last pay, mister. That kid was like 12.
But yeah, I mean, interesting movie. I mean, definitely, I'd say worth the watch. If you like musicals and you've never seen it, go ahead and watch it. You can form your own opinion. But again, I'm just not the over the top accents from New York. I thought was a little much, but that's how people talk in New York from Brooklyn and the Bronx. And I'm just
Brooklyn. I ain't scared of Brooklyn. Spots Collins makes me a little nervous.
But it's funny because I have a guy at work that talks like that, and he's from Brooklyn. So when they started talking, it just reminded me of him, and it was so cool to relate the accent to actually it's not acting. That's a whole nother world up there. Which like everybody knows, I've never been to Brooklyn, so I'm not 100% positive. So, but yeah, interesting movie.
I tell you something right now, my friend. You come up to Brooklyn, we're gonna chew you up and we're gonna spit you right back out. I tell you something. You'll come up here and mess around with us, and we gonna knock you around. Let me tell you something, my friend.
That's my
Ain't no
associate.
joking.
That's
Ain't
it.
no
That's
joking
my
on that.
associate from work. Great guy. But it's the whole time I'm just like, man, that's genuine, just straight up genuine. Bearded Geek, what about yourself?
It was a movie. It was a musical.
And that's Kevin's. That's the Bearded Geeks. Spot on.
It was a movie. It was a musical. I couldn't. I watched the whole thing. Not my favorite movie of all time, for sure. But you guys pretty much said it all. Nothing much more I want to add. So we'll go ahead.
If you had to watch this or Whedon's cut of Justice League,
I would
what
watch
would you
Whedon. I would watch Whedon's cut of Justice League, but I would watch this. I would watch Newsies over Mac and Me.
would you rather watch this
That's
or
a
would you
damn
rather
sure.
watch Snyder's cut of Justice League?
Oh, Snyder's. I love Snyder's cut.
Would you rather watch this or Daredevil?
Let's move on to ratings.
Would you rather watch this or Catwoman?
Catwoman, simply because it's Halle Berry.
Ah, get out
Not
of
because
here.
of the
Let's move
movie.
on to
Not because of the movie, but because of the visuals.
Yes, movies are terrible.
So let's move on to ratings. Steve, how would you rate this fantastic movie in your mind?
I love this movie, man. This movie's a solid 8 out of 10. No, I can't give it a solid 10 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
It'd be an 8 out of 10.
That
works out, camera.
Score.
It's an 8 out of 10. I love this movie. It's great. As I said, it's near and dear to my heart. I love it. A fun fact about this movie, because I'm going to spoil it in case you do it. The scene in which Christian Bale is riding on the horse and then he throws his arm out and they do the shot of him like waist up. He had a problem riding on the horse, so he's legitimately on some dude's shoulders that is like galloping down the road on what I'm pretty sure is the Universal backlot.
It looked like it. It looked like Universal.
Mikey the Freak, what is your rating on this movie?
Okay. Yeah, my initial rating was, I'd say, extremely low, but I'm gonna give it a 6. Just a solid 6 with me. Like I said, it's not in my top 10 of musicals. I'm not a huge Christian Bale fan. Like, some of his movies are okay, but I'm not a huge Christian Bale fan for his acting.
What if we did a deep cut of this movie with Christian Bale as Batman?
That would
suddenly I'm the king of New York.
But it's still the worst Batman. It's still the worst Batman.
Yeah, it's the worst Batman.
See, I think you're wrong. We'll have this discussion later.
Yeah.
But yeah, a solid 6. I can't go into more than that.
I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The half.
Yeah, 3.5.
What's the half?
Just because he gives half a shit.
3 and be done with it.
No, I'll give it a 3.5. A little bit better than a 3. But
you could just be nice and bump it up to a 4.
Yeah, is there a difference between a 3 and
And if
4?
you're
We
at a
both
4,
know it's a shitty movie.
if you're at a 4, you might as well just go to a 4.
Why are you
man. I
guys
mean,
on me about my ratings? I didn't mess with your ratings. Why are you on me about my ratings? 3.5.
I'm just trying to bump it up. I'm just trying to bump it up. That's all I'm doing.
No,
It don't
I
deserve more than a 4.
I
But I gave
didn't.
it a
I did
6.
honestly. I didn't enjoy the music. I didn't enjoy the dancing in it. It was like it almost felt like tap dancing,
You
but
didn't
without
like
the
was.
Lone
tap.
Star? You didn't
There
like
was.
Lone
There
Star in
was that dancing.
1899?
I didn't enjoy I didn't enjoy the music. The acting in it was really good, though. I'll give it that. It had a great cast, Robert
That's
Duvall
a
and
half.
everybody, but I can't give it more than 3.5. I couldn't recommend this movie to anybody, but that's just my opinion. We have other opinions on this show. Watch the movie for yourself and
Wow.
find out.
It's available on Disney Plus.
Yes, it is on Disney Plus.
That's
But we are
dark.
going to move on to a little bit of trivia or fun facts for this show. Uh, as you once stated, Christian Bale was supposedly ashamed to tell his friends that the movie was a musical.
I would have been.
This movie was actually originally intended as a drama, not a musical. The film was originally released on April 10th, 1992, which would have been Joseph Pulitzer's 145th birthday.
Oh.
And as a prank, the boys filled director Kenny Ortega's dressing room with newspapers. So that is what I have for a little bit of fun facts. Steve,
Cool.
what do we have for music in the movie?
Boom.
Soundtrack.
You get your Newsies prologue, which is the beginning narrative of the story, which is actually voiced by Max Casella. So he actually does start the movie both with actual talking and then singing with the beginning of Carrying the Banner. We get Santa Fe, my lovey-dovey baby. We get the world will my lovey-dovey baby. I can do it all day long. The world will know, seize the day, King of New York, Santa Fe reprised, seize the day. And then there's a bunch of other ones of songs being sang second times around. I love this movie. I know it just about verbatim. Summer stinks and winter's waiting. Welcome to New York. Boy, ain't nature fascinating when you's gotta walk. What are we doing for connected
Related
bits?
reels?
Connected what?
Connected bits.
Connected
bits.
Related reels?
Connected bits sounds a little dirty. Related reels sounds much better.
No, that's just called sword fighting.
I went with Christian Bale, as we know him from Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Terrible Batman. The American Hustle, which is actually a very good movie if you haven't seen American Hustle. And one of my favorite Christian Bale movies, Ford versus Ferrari, with Matt Damon. I thought that was a very good movie as well. Max Casella. I know him from a couple things, mostly television. The Sopranos. He was in The Sopranos for the whole season. I'm sorry, the whole series. Doogie Howser, MD. And I just noticed him actually in Tulsa King. So if you haven't seen Tulsa King, that was actually a pretty good show with Sylvester Stallone. And of course, I went with Bill Pullman. Who doesn't love Bill Pullman? League of Their Own, which is also, check out one of our previous podcasts.
Nope.
Independence Day, and also Spaceballs. Lone Star.
I'm your
Schwartz
cousin's
is as big as
uncle's
mine.
nephew's former roommate.
Well,
What
what
does
does
that
that
make
make
us?
us?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, as we
I love
start to come to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
Steve.
Oh, we were closing, so I was closing the door. You can find me on The Last Podcast You Want. Comes out every Thursday. Yep, we're closing it. Every Thursday, to which I have special guest co-hosts, and we do drafts, and you can check out my old episodes. We've been running for 5 years. We have over 200 episodes released online. Tip the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
Awesome. check out the Mod Squad Network. It is our sister podcast where we have a horror show, a movie show, a wrestling review show with yours truly down below. We also go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. So check out the Mod Squad for that here on YouTube or most major podcasting platforms. I do believe that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, keep it retro, everybody.
Give us a thumbing, everybody.
Yeah.
See ya.